I didn't ask for any more money, mind you, right? It's just payment we made the first season. So it's a little disheartening that didn't happen.
The actress has sued the Walt Disney Company over the way the company chose to release her latest film, Black Widow, alleging a breach of contract.
The Avengers didn't just save the world on screen. They built the empire that made Disney untouchable. But now, those same heroes have walked away. Not because of fatigue or fading fame, but because the studio that crowned them as legends turned into their biggest enemy. A secret $750 million deal has shaken Hollywood, exposing betrayal, greed, and a rebellion that could end Marvel as we know it. And the craziest part? Disney never saw it coming. For years, Disney's CEO Bob Iger was praised as the genius who transformed Marvel into a global powerhouse. But behind the red carpet smiles and billion-dollar premieres, Iger's playbook was brutal. Cut costs, control everything, and treat stars like replaceable cogs.
Bob Iger Disney will reduce costs on film, TV shows to focus on quality, not volume. We've heard that already. I don't know why they're running this as exactly the same headline we've already seen. But the really interesting thing is coming from quotes. So this was at the Morgan Stanley conference. This is an investor conference, if I remember rightly.
That strategy might have boosted stock prices for a while, but it also lit the fuse that would blow the Avengers apart. It all started with Jeremy Renner. After nearly dying in a snowplow accident, you'd think Disney would welcome him back with respect. Instead, they offered him half the salary he earned before. Half. Renner mocked the insult himself, saying, "What am I now? Half the Jeremy I was before." It wasn't Marvel Studios making that call. It was Disney's corporate machine. And the order, insiders say, came from the top. To Iger and his executives, loyalty didn't matter. Profit did. That single move sent a chilling message through Hollywood. If Hawkeye could be treated this way, no one was safe. Then came Scarlett Johansson. Black Widow should have been her long overdue victory lap. Instead, Disney released it on streaming, gutting the box office and costing her millions in back-end bonuses.
I'm really happy that no one else will have to deal with what I had to do.
When she sued, the studio didn't just fight back. They smeared her, painting her as selfish during a pandemic. That PR strike was reportedly approved at the highest levels of Disney leadership. Imagine dedicating over a decade to building the MCU, only to be vilified by the very company you made billions for. Scarlett wasn't fighting just for herself. She was fighting for every actor who would come after her. And when she stood her ground, the illusion of Disney's family shattered. That was the opening Paramount needed. Codenamed Project Phoenix, their plan was bold: steal Marvel's gods. And the bait? A staggering $750 million deal with promises Disney refused to give.
You know, I really have had such a fantastic run. I feel like this film has allowed me to, exercise everything that I really have had to say for, that makes up all of Natasha's stuff. You really get to see all the many facets of her as a person. And, but I think I'm ready to hang up my batons. I really feel like I've had such an amazing run and I'd like to go out on a high. That's always the best way to.
Robert Downey Jr., Chris Hemsworth, Scarlett Johansson, Avengers royalty, signed on to lead a Transformers reboot. But this wasn't about robots. It was about freedom. Paramount offered back-end profits, ownership stakes, and full creative input. Things Bob Iger had stripped away in favor of rigid contracts and formula-driven scripts. What Disney thought was smart cost-cutting became a catastrophic betrayal. By the time the ink dried, Marvel's core stars were gone and Transformers had suddenly become Hollywood's hottest franchise. Meanwhile, Marvel's cracks were showing everywhere. She-Hulk turned into a meme, Eternals barely broke even, and the Marvels bombed outright. Even fans who once defended the MCU began calling it soulless. Joe Rogan, one of the world's biggest voices, torched Disney for turning films into paint-by-numbers corporate sludge. He wasn't wrong. Instead of art, audiences got assembly line storytelling. Instead of character growth, they got recycled arcs and awkward boardroom-approved message moments. And the harsh truth? That was Bob Iger's vision. Volume over vision.
There's a lot of wild stuff from the old Disney stuff. You go back in the old Disney, you're like, you guys should probably bury this.
Brutal, I know. You might want to take the obviously Jewish person's nose down a little bit in this one.
There was one where there was it was like a big bad wolf one, and it used to be a Jewish person. and then they switched it to a wolf later. Like,
Yeah,
what?
and it's like cheap. It like won't pay the price for the baguette for the Little Red Riding Hood. You're like, what?
There's some interesting stuff I just found, though.
Marshmallow cannon?
Well,
What?
But
Hold on. I mean,
Okay.
It should show, like,
no.
yeah.
Well,
Oh, what? Okay. That's 100% a dick squirting marshmallows.
on a little mouse.
And then there's
It just
There-
jizzed all over this mouse.
It's that. It's like
Okay. That's a dick.
Behind the scenes, Marvel's stars were breaking down. Chris Hemsworth privately called Thor, Love and Thunder, a parody of itself, even as Disney pressured him to keep playing Thor after announcing a health-related break. Johansson never forgot being publicly shamed by the company she helped build. Tom Holland was trapped in the endless Disney-Sony tug-of-war, stuck playing high school Spider-Man while he aged out of the role. And Brie Larson, once the face of Marvel's future, was thrown under the bus when the Marvels failed. One by one, Disney's brightest stars realized the truth. They weren't family. They were disposable. And when actors left, Disney panicked. An internal email chain leaked from Disney's marketing department, exposing a covert smear campaign against Paramount's Transformers reboot. The memo told influencers to paint Transformers as creatively bankrupt and question Chris Hemsworth's range outside Thor. Worst of all, it revealed that Disney was paying online voices to seed negativity without linking it back to Marvel. The strategy backfired instantly. Screenshots went viral, hashtags like Disney attacks Transformers trended for days, and even Marvel stars were caught liking posts mocking their own studio before quickly unliking them. Bob Iger's iron grip had slipped, and the world saw Disney for what it was: desperate, manipulative, and terrified. That's when the rebellion spread beyond the actors. Writers, VFX teams, stunt crews, all the people who built Marvel's empire started defecting. Years of cost-cutting under Iger left them burned out and bitter. VFX artists were ordered to ignore mistakes. Writers were stuck rewriting scripts to fit algorithms. Stunt crews were rushed through dangerous schedules. By contrast, Paramount offered collaboration, prep time, and respect. Even costume designers left Marvel behind. In leaked Transformers production notes, Paramount's promise was clear. Every character must evolve. If it doesn't make the audience cry, rewrite it. Compare that to Disney's assembly line formula, and the choice was obvious. Disney's response? Pure desperation. Rumors of merging Marvel and Star Wars into one Empire of the Multiverse crossover circulated, an idea so bizarre it reeked of panic. Investors weren't convinced, fans weren't buying it, and Marvel's once invincible Hall H presentations at Comic-Con turned into ghost towns. For the first time in a decade, Marvel didn't even bother showing up. And that brings us here. This was never just about contracts or movies. It was about trust, respect, and creativity. Jeremy Renner's insult, Scarlett Johansson's lawsuit, Hemsworth's frustration, Larson's scapegoating, they were all symptoms of the same disease. A studio that forgot who built it. Bob Iger thought he could cut costs and tighten control forever. Instead, he strangled the magic that made Marvel matter. The Avengers didn't abandon Disney. Disney abandoned them. And now, those stars are building something new where their voices aren't silenced, their paychecks aren't slashed, and their creativity isn't dictated by a spreadsheet. This isn't just Marvel versus Transformers. It's a clash of philosophies. Disney believes audiences will consume whatever they're given. Paramount is betting that fans are smarter than that. And based on the rebellion already underway, the fans may have already chosen a side. Because at the end of the day, the real lesson is simple. The magic doesn't belong to Disney. It never did. It belongs to the people, the actors, the creators, and the fans who believed. And now, for the first time in over a decade, they fired back. Marvel didn't lose its heroes. It lost its soul. If you guys liked today's video, make sure you like and subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.